Abuja, Nigeria. Today is the 13th day in the second month of 2025. It's just a day to Valentine, by the way. I'm wondering, it's been a lot of Valentine buzz out there in recent time, and some people think that it's kind of overrated. One thing I'm wondering is, how do we have a lot of single people? So who are dating? Who are those dating everybody? Who are those dating every other person? Because everyone seems to be like, these relationship people and the rest of that. So, we dating all those guys and all those girls, and who's married to all those men and all those women. You'll be wilding out here. A lot of buzz on the internet lately. VDM, Nadu Azobia, Two-Face, Sidibia, Honorable Natasha. Like, it's just been a lot. But guess what? I think our polity is kind of suffering because we're carried away by the wrong things. What do you think? We're carried away by things that really wouldn't make any difference. These are people's individual lives. Meanwhile, we have one race, and that's the Nigerian race. We're supposed to be heading towards, seeing how we can navigate before we get to the finish line. But here we are, carried away by people's personal lifestyles, what they do behind closed doors and what they don't. Let's not lose focus, if you ask me. This Fresh Talk comes your way 7 a.m. every weekday, Monday all the way through Friday, and today, Thursday, will not be an exception. Our in-house analyst will join us any moment now, but I'll just take it straight to the headlines already. Even as we continue, but just before I do that, a bit of motivation for you today. I just want to tell you that you're one step closer every day to your goals. You're one step closer every day to your dreams. So if you wake up putting that same amount of work and that same amount of energy every day, every other day, not to worry, as long as you're doing it, the goal is just in front. It be like say nothing to happen now, Abby. Don't worry, just continue. Just continue at it. Just they do want to go. For real. Because at the end of the day, you smile and be like, yo, I did it. Those 2 steps every day that eventually counts. How about that? Let's jump on the Punch newspaper. Tinubu's re-election. ACF others tackle Ganduje over no vacancy comment. Tinubu's re-election, ACF others tackle Ganduje over no vacancy comment. Stories coming in from the Punch newspaper, pro-North social political organization Arewa Consultative Forum, and some prominent voices from the northern region of the country have said that the region cannot be forced to re-elect President Bola Tinubu in 2027. The ACF and other northern leaders declared that no individual could claim to be the mouthpiece of the North, and as such, it was wrong for the chairman of the APC, Abdullahi Ganduje, to ask the North to wait till 2031 before vying for the presidency. The chairman of the party stated this while fielding questions from newsmen and making host to party chieftains, where he said that Tinubu will return re-elected in 2027 and there just might be no other tickets in the APC. So, is this kind of inherent in our political system? Or is it a case of politics always being personal interest first before it is national or any other interest? Is that what it is? Because when the party chairman is beginning to make comments like this, we're not even anywhere close to the primaries yet. I think we still have about over a year before the primaries, and we're not even anywhere there yet. But we're already getting hints about how there just might not be any other ticket in the APC. Jonathan did it, right? Buhari did it in 2019. So it's not going to be the first time, by the way, but doesn't make it right. So it takes away the principle of democracy and the chance for other people to compete. I mean, let's go to the polls. That's what it's supposed to be like. That's why some people have faulted the system by which these people are elected. as flag bearers. Talking about delegates and who gets to be the delegate, who makes it to be the delegate list, how the delegates are selected or appointed, and then how they are brought to Abuja to come participate or partake in the primaries. So from that foundation level, that's where the problem is. Because the delegates are the ones who are going to provide or produce who the party flag bearer would be at the primaries. So, how do you come about the delegates? If it is still under the control or manipulation of certain individuals, political party, or other affiliations, does it mean that these delegates can just be procured, so to speak? And all of them know that they have one mission. Their mission is to go there and make sure President Tinubu emerges as a flag bearer of the APC. So, if at that level already it's been truncated, is it now at the general elections? What if the person who is representing the political party is not the person of your choice? You begin to choose for a lesser evil. You begin to say, inside these two better pass. But you know someone, you know other people who are better than these two people. But because you couldn't partake one way or another in the process that produces the flag bearers for these candidates and these political parties, you have little or nothing to do at the general election, because at that point, is to say, okay, inside Atiku and Tinubu, who better pass? Or inside Obi and Tinubu, who better pass? Meanwhile, you may know people who are even better and have a better track record than even the Obi himself. So Obi, they say, it's just a boy. I don't know if it is this Obi that is just a boy, or it's Jenny Obi. Only Obis. I know some Obis though. All right, let's take this story here from the Vanguard. It says, telecoms tariff hike, NLC fumes, gives March 1 alert to shut telecoms services. Telecoms tariff hike, NLC fumes, gives 1st of March alert to shut telecoms services. From the Vanguard newspaper, NLC is threatening. The Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, has expressed outrage over the hike in tariffs by telecommunications companies, despite an earlier agreement reached with the federal government and the Nigeria Communications Commission, NCC, and demanded immediate reversal of the increase to avoid unpleasant consequences. However, the operators are not taking any of NLC's threats, warning that Labour's actions would amount to a treasonable felony. Recall that the federal government and NLC had about 2 weeks ago emerged from a meeting convened by the former to see how the price hike could be reduced from the proposed 50%. A 10-man committee comprising 5 members from each of the two parties were constituted to give 2 weeks to further deliberate on the issue before a decision was taken. The 2-week deadline given to the committee ends this week, but some of the telecommunications companies have already effected a hike of 50% in their data tariff. According to NLC, if the telecommunications companies fail to revert to the old tariff by the end of February 2025, a total shutdown of the operations nationwide will commence from March 1, 2025. To show its seriousness, the labor movement declared that as a first step in resisting the arbitrary tariff hike, it directs that from Thursday, February 13, which is today, workers and other willing citizens should boycott the services of MTN, Airtel, and Glo daily between 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. with effect from Thursday, February 11 to the end of February 2025. That's Thursday, February 13 to the end of February 2025. Leaders in the NLC, in a communique at the end of a Central Working Committee CWC meeting in Lokoja, Kogi State on Tuesday, urged workers and citizens to suspend purchase of data from the telecommunications companies. The communique, signed by the President and General Secretary of Congress, Joe Ajero and Ima Ubaja, respectively, directed state councils and industrial union affiliates to commence immediate sensitization and mobilization of their members and the general public within their jurisdictions. The communique reads that the CWC of the NLC was convened in Lokoja, Kogi State on February 11, 2025 to deliberate on pressing national issues including the 50% telecommunications tariff hike, the proposed tax reform bills, and to roll out the compressed natural gas CNG-powered buses for the north-central zone of Nigeria. The CWC received with grave concern the news that telecommunications companies have commenced the implementation of a 50% tariff hike from February 11, despite an earlier agreement reached with the federal government that the Nigeria Communications Commission. It was recalled that a 10-man committee had been constituted to deliberate on the matter within 2 weeks and report back before any final decision will be made on the new telecom tariff structure. The CWC condemns this action by telecommunications companies, describing it as a betrayal of trust, an affront to the principles of negotiation, and a direct slap on the government and the institution, and the disdain for the Nigerian people. So, despite having a 10-man committee set up, and they were yet to submit a report as to what and how the deliberations went, telecommunications companies were said to have implemented a 50% tariff hike on data services. Some of them, it said. But on the flip side, these telecommunication companies said they have been running, into billions of dollars in losses for about 2 years now, looking at, the rise in cost of production and how they are supposed to run their business. So they've been running on a deficit. So I'm just looking at it from the business side of it. If they have been running on a deficit, and then it's not like they're saying, or the Nigerian Labour Congress is saying you shouldn't increase your tariffs, right? But is there a way you can do it? So, it doesn't seem as though it's going to be a thorn on the flesh of the subscribers at the end of the day, because these same subscribers are going through a lot already. You can see what the economy is talking about: tax reform bill, scaled second reading. And that tax reform bill basically seeks to, fine-tune our taxing system in Nigeria. That means more people are going to be brought into the tax brackets. Just maybe you might begin to pay personal income tax. So any money that hits your account from anywhere in the world for any reason whatsoever, a particular percentage will be taken out of it by the government as your personal income tax. So sometimes you begin to wonder and calculate, if this money enter my account, they will come out 10%, irrespective of what it's for. So I'm just saying though, that's if personal income tax comes into effect, so what money goes into what account. So if you have a salary account, you know that it is salary, because they take 10, 15, 7, 5, 2, 1%, depending on what it's pegged at. You'll take it, and then whatever is left for you is left for you. So definitely will know how to manage it, so that they will not go and be taking money that is belonging to someone else. Meanwhile, you have to pay in full just because it is passing through your account. And I think that's also going to make, individuals and businesses grow up, because people will know that, you're going to have to pay 5% additional to that money for tax. So you have to inculcate it in your own bills too. If your item is selling for, let's say 17,000, and you have a 5%, tax on it, you definitely put it onto the next person. Because if you don't, you might be paying twice. When the money comes, when the money goes. But I think we're gonna end up understanding all of this dynamics when these things get into effect. But on the long run, shall we see the dividends of all of the taxes in our society? Can our roads reflect it? Can our hospitals reflect it? Can our schools reflect the taxes? Because they call it taxpayers' money. And who's the taxpayer? You and I. So if we are paying tax, where the tax they go? You get it? Where the tax they go? So taxpayers, you also need to mobilize. You also need to mobilize as well, and make sure that the money you're paying is used for what they said it will be used for. You don't want to go pay money and at the end of the day, they're taking your money. You score taxpayers' money, but you're not seeing what they're doing with it. If you're not seeing results, ask questions. That's why we have the Freedom of Information Act. It's passed under Jonathan. You can walk in and say, hey, I'm writing to demand explanation as to how this works or how this particular money was spent. It's contained in 2025 Appropriation Act that this particular money was supposed to be used for renovation of roads, or this one is supposed to be used for the building of dams, building of hospitals, building of schools. We want to know how many schools you built, how many hospitals you renovated or rehabilitated, and how many is left, how much you now spend, how much remain. When we begin to hold the government accountable, that's why I'm saying we're putting our energy in the wrong direction. Ratel, there's a lot going down in governance. We need to make sure and ensure that the Nigerian people begin to benefit the dividends of democracy. I'll do a solo session, right? Something that has to do with how and what the problem of Nigeria is. Because, I mean, by now, we all would agree that there is a fundamental problem. So, in identifying the problem, I think that's where we'll start from. Let's identify the problem. If you want to find solutions to any problem, they say you're going to have to identify the problem first. So, by the time we identify the problem, then from there, we'll now begin to seek for solutions. But we need to, first of all, get the consciousness of everybody to what the root cause of the problems are. So when we do that, we'll begin to find solutions around it. I'm afraid that the problems just might be external. They're holding your neck. They want you to continue to be dependent on them. They want you to always be dependent on them. They don't want your system to work so you can rely on theirs. They want you to overpopulate so that they will use your population to grow their economy. They sold your parents. They bought your parents and used them as slaves. Today, you are willingly using your money to pay for your own slavery. It's neocolonialism. Wake up and open your eyes. They don't want your institutions to work, so you go to theirs. They don't want your hospitals to work, so you would patronize theirs. They don't want your system to be stable, so you would jackpot to theirs. Wake up and smell the coffee, brothers and sisters. Let's not be like, say, they no talk am. Many people like say, I didn't know, I was not aware. Now, there's something else that's been shaking all over social media since yesterday. It says that Tubaba proposes to Edo lawmaker Natasha Osawaru in a viral video. Tubaba proposes to Edo lawmaker Natasha Osawaru in a viral video. Taking the story from the Vanguard newspaper, by the way. Music icon Innocent Dibia, popularly known as Tubaba, has proposed to Edo State lawmaker Natasha Osawaru in a moment captured on video that went viral on Thursday. The footage shows the pair dancing together before Tubaba presents a ring to Osawaru, sparking cheers from onlookers. The couple then shared a long embrace, solidifying the proposal. The proposal comes just a day after Tubaba publicly confirmed his romantic relationship with Osawaru following his recent separation from wife Annie Idibia. The revelation has ignited controversies and conversations across all social media platforms. Speculations about their relationship had intensified in recent weeks after Tubaba was seen visiting the Edo State Assembly and later spotted with Osawaru at a Lagos club. Addressing the rumors, Tubaba took to Instagram on Tuesday to clarify the situation. He defended Osawaru against accusations of being a homebreaker and affirmed his genuine affection for her. Honorable Natasha has been dragged and called all sorts of names, he said. She's a young, brilliant, amazing woman and had nothing to do with what happened between me and Annie. Yes, I love her and I want to marry her. Two-Face DBA said, now we've seen the video where he knelt down and proposed and he's asked her to marry him. And she said yes. Yes, she was going to marry him. And a lot of social media in-laws have been saying, Some people say, yo, big ups to Baba, live your life. Some say, no, it's not good. It's not good. So, I really don't know. I don't know. But if you're living your life, seeking true happiness, we'll give you a round of applause. Yeah, that's if you're doing everything possible, right? Find happiness and live your life. That one is for you. You understand? Mm-hmm. But if on the other side, you get as a team B, and you want to please the world while displeasing yourself, okay? Go and look for true happiness. You just might be, fooling yourself. You just might be fooling yourself, for real. Because at the end of the day, there's nothing that kills faster than living a very, very fake life. Live a life that every day, this is what you'll be saying. Somebody got a couple. So that's exactly the kind of vibe that you should be having, right? Anything or body or group of bodies that want to steal your joy away, nah, don't let them. And all rich, let's try as much as possible to anybody wait till I say, well, see, you know the time that they say this thing, thunder value. Oh, well, that's all I can take today on the headlines. I'm out of here. I'll be back same time tomorrow, 7 a.m. Make it a date. My name is Owigho. Follow our social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Owigho TV on YouTube. On Instagram, Owigho_off_Abuja. On Facebook, Owigho Okolo. On TikTok, Owigho of Abuja. Have yourself a very beautiful Thursday in preparation for Valentine's Day. If you must, use a condom.